Okay. Hello everyone. This is Eiri and welcome to the stream. Today I will be doing a special presentation of sorts, which I try to do every weekend. Hello, Demon Creature. Hello, Kogasa. And this is based on something that I have been kind of raving about for the last week, and that is the release of, I've already spoiled it in the screen there, of Trials of Mana, which is the official name of an SNES game that was released 24 years ago, only in Japan. And let me just start things up here. And it's only been available in Japan for the last 24 years. And it has only existed in the form of a fan translation for 19 of those years, because a fan translation was made in the year 2000, released. So, a lot of people, well, not a lot, a fair number of people have been excited about this, because this is really the only Mana game that has not been released. It's the missing one in the series, there's really not enough fanfare for this. There is a complete remake of this game, actually, that was also announced at E3. But here I'll be comparing the fan translation and the official translation. The fan translation is on the left, and the official one is on the right. And here it's just the prologue. I've started them both at roughly the same time. And I will be trying to play both of them at the same time for the sake of comparison. I have done a few experiments of this before, and it's kind of worked, but let's see how things go. And here we already see some immediate differences, aside from the fact that the one on the left started a little bit earlier, and it's that some names have been changed, things have been rephrased. Instead of god beasts, it was called benevodons, which is a fancier, fantasy-esque name. And it's generally phrased in a way that seems more like a legend or something like that. Mana is rapidly disappearing from the earth. Mana itself began to disappear from the world. So earth and world are synonyms, but they can be translated to have different meanings in English, and so on and so forth. And this is the opening cutscene, more or less. I'm not at the title screen yet. The audio is only coming from the one on the right, because playing both at the same time would lead to a bit of desynchronization there. So that hopefully that won't be a bit too confusing in any way. Oh, that's fine. It was just some issues with the server, that's all. Had plenty of fun anyway. And there are a lot of reasons as to why this was not translated. Yeah, I'm a bit insane for this, but the big reason it was not translated probably was because it was really the last year of the SNES before the Nintendo 64 came out. And another one as well is that this is one of the most technically intensive pieces of the SNES era. It was one of the last games made, which means that this is just a technical masterpiece, and one of the most technically complicated things. It is encrypted, compressed to high hell, and it's also running in high definition. A significant amount of the game is actually using a high definition mode that's very rarely used on the SNES, and that's why you see here that the text is actually very small. I believe the Super Mario RPG was only released in the US it never came out in PAL regions, so not even in Europe either. Yeah, maybe. So the high resolution mode in the Japanese version was actually used to have one of the largest kanji dictionaries in the SNES era, and it could actually render very complicated kanji. And the fan translation kind of made use of this by actually having half-width text here, and the official one also does the same thing with the high resolution mode. The game has 6 characters, which all have their own story, which also has which means that the game also has a ton of replayability as well. And this is the part where I actually need to select my character, and I just realized that I have my controller configured incorrectly, so I need to actually close all this. Whoops. Whoopsie. So, this is the third game in the Mana series. The first one was called Final Fantasy Adventure in the West. And the second one was called Secret of Mana, where you could play, you have a party of 3 characters, and you can actually play all 3 characters. In this, you have 6 characters, each of them with their own unique storylines and origin stories as well. Okay, that works now. And depending on who I pick as my main character, the final boss, I believe, and the main antagonist will actually be different. And depending on who my second and third characters will be, their story will be expanded upon or not expanded upon in different ways. There are 3 main villains, so 2 characters share the same villain, and for your second and third characters, part of their main story will be explored, but not fully, because it's mainly concentrating on the main one. In the fan translation as well, because of character limitations, some of their names were changed. So the big thing here, for example, is this character here, Carly on the left and Charlotte on the right. There's a 6 character limit on character names in the Japanese version, because Japanese doesn't use that much. And you can see here that instead of trying to figure out half-width text properly, the fan translation kind of opted for creating a new text engine on top of that uses full-width text, which really causes some space issues. It is really quite a shame, but as you can see there, the name on the left is Carly, and the one on the right is Charlotte, which is 9 characters. The main character that I want to pick is Angela, and the reason for this is because I've actually kind of analyzed the fan translation before quite a number of years ago, and I started with the opening scene for Angela, and that's really the only thing I can speak about when it comes to the Japanese. And her name is Angela, as you can see again, half-width text on the right, and just press start. And at this point, I don't really know who to pick. If you want to pick someone, that's cool. If not, I'll probably just pick a few people here. So this character here is Duran. He's a fighter. He uses a sword. He has the same antagonist as Angela, so we'll get bonus scenes if we pick him. This is Kevin, who is kind of a melee monk berserker character. This character is called Hawkeye, or Hawk, in the fan translation, and he's a thief. Nerval. Charlotte is a cleric who uses a flail and should be able to heal, and Reese, with lots and lots of different spellings, is like a lancer or a spear person, so with 2 different spelling variations as well. So, Which characters do you want me to pick? Any preferences? Or should I just pick probably Duran and Charlotte? Or I could go all three girls, or whatever. It's up to you. It doesn't really matter. All of them have different stories, so different things will be revealed. There will be different side quests. I have some notes here on just Angela's main story, so I'll only be going through that. The game is about 24 hours long from what I've looked up online, so yeah. No choices. No choices. Yeah, so this will probably take a few sessions, assuming I would like to play to the end. One suggestion for Charlotte, one for Hawkeye. I'm actually not sure. I know that Duran shares the same enemy as Angela, so I think there's actually a romance thing as well. When I was just trying this out, I just picked all the girls, so... Oh great, it's raining. That's gonna get into the microphone. Just let me, that shouldn't be a problem. It's just one storyline, because they share the same enemy, I guess. Yeah. Honestly, last time I picked Lise and Charlotte, but I think I'm just gonna pick Duran and Charlotte. Yeah. So Duran, now if I'm just looking at this text input here, I can just tell straight away that the one on the right is actually built on top of the text engine, because these are in columns, groups of 5 columns, and that's usually how Japanese text input is laid out. You can see there's a weird gap here, and it's just built directly on top of the engine there. Something that's really interesting though is that when this came out on the Switch, people extracted the ROM image straight away, and that's what I'm playing. And this is actually a fully functional SNES ROM image. You can load this up on an SNES if you have a flash card, and this will run. So it's not reprogrammed in any way. It's not ported, much like how Chrono Trigger DS was done, or Ocarina of Time 3DS was done. This is an actual SNES game. Yes, it's just like Star Fox 2 or Mother, Earthbound Beginnings. For those two cases though, Star Fox 2 and Mother, those were actually completed translations, and since the NES was kind of at the end of its lifespan and the SNES for Star Fox 2, it was simply never released. For this though, it's kind of a mystery as to how much this was translated back in 1995, 1996, and how much was done now, because there's really no indication of it. Let's just start there. The only thing I really know is that Square Enix actually did not possess the source code for this game, and they actually had to get it from Nintendo's archives. And that's kind of why this is a Nintendo Switch exclusive. So the only reason this game exists is because Nintendo kept the source code. Yeah, that's probably just a bit of a layout thing, but as you can see here, full width text on the left, half width text on the right, much higher density of text, which means that there's actually a lot of information that's lost. This is a very common problem on translations from the SNES era, where about half to 2/3 of the original text needs to be cut out because of character limits. And unfortunately, in the fan translation, for the most part, they opted to actually do full-width character text. Just right here, you know, a very short sentence on the left, and on the right, there's a lot more flavor. It's about the mighty kingdom of Altena, and his name is the Crimson Withered, rather than Koren. This particular scene was something I looked at a number of years ago, and that's kind of why I've posted it a fair bit on Twitter, because I was kind of looking at how valid a fan translation would be. And as you can see here, he's just called the Crimson Withered. In the Japanese, he is really just called the Crimson Withered as well. You could also translate it as something like the Sorcerer of the Red Lotus or something like that, but it's the same thing. But on the left, it's just Koren. It's his name. If you're looking up on a wiki, for some reason, I think this got retranslated again, and his name, his official quote-unquote name, is Brian, but that only shows up in the wiki. It's probably based on another retranslation of a retranslation, and something got lost. As far as I'm aware, though, I can guess that Koren is actually a translation mistake based on a mistranslation of the word crimson. So crimson in Japanese is Guren, but if you read it incorrectly, it comes out as Koren, and then it just became his name in the fan translation. Eventually, in dialogue, though, he starts being referred to as the Crimson Withered. So, so this line on the left, we can't live in a frozen climate. That doesn't exist. And there's also extra text boxes added in the fan translation as well. But since there's just lots and lots of room on the right, the number of text boxes, I believe, are actually identical. It's just modified straight on top of the existing Japanese version. That bit of desynchronization, though, is kind of why I have this weird setup, where I play both games at the same time. Trying to synchronize everything when there's text box inconsistencies kind of make things a bit weird. The text advanced automatically on the left, so... Holy Land, Sanctuary of Mana. It's been translated in a few different ways in the Mana series. In Secret of Mana, it's called Pure Lands, I think. Someone told me that a few days ago. But the official one now is called the Sanctuary. And you can see here that the phrasing just kind of has a different personality. And yeah, thank you for the follow and the hosts and all that. So the one on the right sounds a bit more diplomatic because the Crimson Wizard is actually trying to manipulate everyone. And on the left, it's a bit more blunt. Let's just kill everyone and invade. Invade. See? Invade. Let's just invade and take everything. And on the right, it seems to be more like a rallying cry. Just a lot of different... a lot of personality changes. And here, already running into inconsistencies. Just give it a minute. And here's Angela. Hey, Jose! Oh, come on, Jose. There's an accented E there on the right, which is kind of cool. But there's nothing there on the left, so kind of difficult to read. But his name is Jose. And Angela's personality is pretty different as well. Yeah, so here Angela looks She sounds she kind of sounds like a brat on the left, like a very childish, and on the right, she's more polite, but just more like tired of how she's kind of trapped here. Yeah, Jose. Well, in Japanese, I think it was written Jose, but Jose. I'll just say it in a Spanish way. Yeah, this is kind of a fantasy game after all, so a lot of JRPGs kind of went for English names. You're having trouble because you're concentrating on form, not the heart. And on the right it says spirit, heart and spirit. This is again a translation thing. Where heart and spirit kind of mean the same thing in Japanese. And again, just she's so bitchy on the left, but on the right she's just tired, you know? Yeah, it's kind of surprising, but they're usually not, because these are kind of European-style fantasies, and they just pick English names. That kind of results in some issues, though, sometimes, because they kind of get the wrong name and it doesn't sound right. I can't remember anything in particular, but in one of the Final Fantasies, I think, well, the main character actually had a female name, and so it kind of just got a few letters changed into a male name in the English. And here's the game beginning again. Whoops, didn't need to do that. A most famous change is that in Final Fantasy VI, Terra's name in Japanese is actually Tina. Tina is deliberately foreign, it's English, but it doesn't sound foreign enough to an English audience, so it was changed to Terra. So yeah, so lots of tiny text on the right, and all of this is done by switching to a high definition rendering mode on the SNES, and pretty much everything in the game uses this when text boxes come up. It's a little difficult to see, but the screen actually shifts a little bit as well because it's changing to high resolution. And this also kind of makes it a little difficult to emulate, I think. Of course, the SNES is quite old, so yeah. Here's a big difference as well. The phrasing on the left doesn't really make any sense. Angela thought very lonesomely of her mother, who never scolded her or embraced her. On the other hand, on the right it says, her childhood was extremely lonely. Instead of affection, she received scoldings. She told herself that the queen was fulfilling her duty. She knew that the queen had important responsibilities. Really big words here as well, really long ones. Responsibilities, like there's a lot of characters. Yeah, it's a kind of a mess, because it's really trying hard to like fit into the text box. There's a very big character limit here, so there's something very impressive about the actual translations from back then, often by Ted Woolsey and stuff. There's a thing now called like a Woolseyism. Starved for attention. She often acted out playing pranks. Starving for her mother's love, she acted selfishly. Big difference again. Grew to adulthood resembling the queen. Grew as beautiful as her mother. And now I have control. So the way I'm doing this now is that I actually have two virtual controllers attached to two different emulators. This is going to be a bit confusing, but this should allow me to deal with a few different issues. So here I'm running to the left, I'm running to the right. If you want, I can stop confusing you and just make it look like I'm playing both games at the same time with one controller. And the reason for this is because I started to run into issues with randomness, RNG. So here you can see that the NPCs are walking differently. In this game, spawns are not fixed either, so enemies will actually spawn randomly as well. Here, the flame is burning very poorly. The flame is flickering weakly, and you can just see the amount of space that's saved with half-width text. Here, let me just look at my notes here. I kind of just need to talk around and just explore the place, talk to different people. So let's just go there. If I remember where to go. Yeah. Let's see. I did find a few things, discrepancies between these versions actually when I played with a single controller. And it's that some loading screens are a bit slower and faster, and the doors actually open at a different speed. As you can just see right there. I think it's here. No? I kind of just have to explore the map thoroughly and speak to people. Actually, maybe it is this way. That's not it. Nope. How nice of you to show up, Princess. Oh, I rarely see you here, Your Highness. Oh, it's the same. Good morning, Miss Angela. Good morning, Your Highness. Ugh. I'd chop her head off if it was me. Being so rude. Miss Angela. I'm a princess. By order of the true queen. And it just says queen on the left. Where am I supposed to go? I've already forgotten. Eventually though, I'll get some directions. Did I already walk here? I think I did. I think this is it. Yeah, okay, so kind of just walk this way. Corwin's training is getting tougher and tougher. The Crimson Wizard again. Corwin. I suspect the reason why there is a discrepancy here is because this actually was translated by 3 different people in over 3 different periods of time. So it kind of took 5 years. And the first one did some of the translation, then they quit. And then the second person did that again, and then they just did a certain amount. And the third person just did a lot of supplementary stuff, I think. So there's a very inconsistent quality here, and I think that's kind of why Corwin or the Crimson Wizard is translated in different ways. And then all of that was kind of assembled together and edited by the main ROM hacker, who also managed to decompress the game and expose the text, I think, or something like that. It was really a project that was not made by a single person. It was kind of handed off to different people, and people gave up, left the files online, someone picked up the pieces, and so on and so forth. Get out of my way. Get out of my way. Ugh. I'm supposed to get through here. There we go. Uber Zelda is really just Master Quest. There's nothing related to dialogue there. All they did was redo the dungeons. You called for me, Mother. Even though she's in the middle of the royal court and she should be a bit more formal. Your Majesty. In order to open the gate to the Mana Holy Land, in order to gain access through the sanctuary, we must begin invasion of every country to possess their mana stones. Legend has it, when the energy of all of the world's mana stones is freed, blah blah blah, the gates of the Mana Holy Land will be opened. Lots of boxes on the right, on the left. For starters, I think we'll release the energy from the mana stone in Altena. We should begin with the Altenish mana stone. So, a bit smarter with the English usage on the right because they added a suffix to Altena, Altenish, which is how you would do it if that was a real country. By using the sealed ancient magic with capital letters. So it's pretty obvious there that they just translated the name quite literally. To make it a bunch of kanji literally like that. But on the right, that kind of makes it sound more natural by saying it's just forbidden. Ooh. Well, it managed to squeeze in everything, but... You, who cannot use magic, are the shame of this royal family. That's okay, I guess. On the right, she's much more mean, though. Useless blight. Where am I? Blank text box. I'm pretty sure she just used magic to escape. Okay, so this is still the intro. I'm in the middle of a snowscape, so let's get out of here. Now we get into combat. And this is where things start to diverge because of randomness. As you can see here, I'm kind of trying to engage in combat in two different sides. Combat here is kind of simple. I kept thinking there was a combo system, but it's really just one hit. There used to be a combo system in Secret of Mana though, and it's been removed for better or worse. In the remake though, man, the remake, just from what I've seen so far, it's amazing. Because it's essentially a remake almost on the same scale as the Final Fantasy VII remake in terms of differences. Although the main layout of the maps are still the same and all that. But you know, there's much better combat and everything as well. Victory! You won! Oh, and I got a chest on both sides. With great difficulty. Oh dear. Got some damage. Yeah. There's no easy way for me to say it other than that this is actually kind of tedious. Let's just die here. If I make it to the end, I will actually collapse anyway, because this is kind of a scripted thing. I'm in the middle of a snowscape. I'm not really wearing any clothes appropriate for it. And I wake up here. Yeah, I've been talking about this for the last few days, and I've been trying to get people to convince me to not do this, but apparently everyone is really looking forward to me actually doing this, so because of the unique idea. That said, Clyde Mandolin, or Tomato, he's also known as Tomato, he's a professional translator, and he actually did the fan translation of Mother 3, and he's actually quite interested in doing a translation comparison of this as well, and he actually did one for Final Fantasy VI last year. But rather than playing two, I don't know, I think it's just mid-animation, that kid. Snowfield, Sub-Zero Snowfield, that's an obvious name of a map. Elrond. Oh. Chi-Chi, he's awake. Chi-Chi, Chiri. And the text box is small for some reason to portray whispers. I did ping him a few times, but as I was saying, rather than playing two emulators at the same time, he can program as well, so he extracted the scripts of 3 or 4 different versions of the game, and he kind of put a layer on top of just one emulated version of the game to actually compare all of the scripts at the same time when he played through Final Fantasy VI. And he's a professional translator, so he can look at the Japanese version as well. What I'm doing here is just looking at the 2 English versions. Yeah, I think he'll do a better job of this than me. This is kind of funny as well. I'm hungry. When's dinner? So, there's an old lady there. Yeah. He's probably quite busy though. Snow City Elrond and Snow Hamlet Elrond. Let's look at the sign. There should be a sign of the town. Let's look at that for that. There we go. Snow Hamlet Elrond, Snow City Elrond. City Hamlets, that's probably a localization thing, a bit of a liberty there. But Elrond and Alrond. So all of these city names and names are all in Japanese katakana, so actually trying to translate them is usually difficult. And you're gonna get all of these differences in all of the city names, I think. Something that's very common is the LR thing in Japanese. Yes, but a lot of different letters actually apply as well. So E and L is another possibility. D and T may also be a possibility. Sometimes, since Japanese requires a vowel after every consonant, sometimes there's an extra syllable at the end. Sometimes it's removed. But as you can see here, in the fan translation, they kind of managed to decode the text compression, but they had a lot of difficulty trying to get it back in. So here they kind of rebuilt the text rendering, so it just uses full width text. It's centered, it's colored. But on the right, they've managed to actually do that, and it's built on top of the high resolution text rendering. That does give the fan translation a few special things though, like colored text, but I don't think it's really that big of a deal. Let's just look at my guide here. Oh, it doesn't actually say what... It doesn't actually tell me what to do. I think I'm supposed to talk to someone and get advice. Talk to this lady here. Fortune teller. Fortune teller with a hyphen. A person's life is 99% fate. Fate and destiny are synonyms, but as you can see there, it's using a percentage symbol. If you want to write proper prose, you'd actually write the whole word, so there's lots of space on the right again. Temple of Light. Priest of Light. I don't know where that comes from. The Temple of Light? The Priest of Light? When did this become Zelda? Lots of rephrasing here. I think it's kind of okay, but the one on the right is a bit more poetic. Darkness of despair, light to guide you. It's okay. Hey, that's the same thing she told me. I asked if my new kid was going to be a boy or girl. Thankfully, I'm playing with two separate controllers, so I don't need to get stuck in a loop there. What do I need to do? I think I need to rest. Do I rest or... Oh, yeah, it's automatic. Oh. City. Oh right, if I talked around the town more, I would find wanted posters and stuff already. That puts me as a criminal. It's phrased differently in the fan translation and the official one. On the right, it's phrased as a runaway, just a runaway princess, and on the left, it's actually an assassination bounty notice, I think. Or like I'm wanted for treason or something. I'm not sure. I need to check again. The fate of the entire world. The wheel of fate on the right. And here's the opening. This is all in English in the Japanese version as well. It's just a stylistic credits thing. It's quite common in Japanese games, actually, for the credits to be in English. And this is more or less the prologue complete. Everyone hops on a boat, they all run into each other in the same city, but rather than meeting up, there's actually a little bit more adventure before they officially party up. But this is where most games, most characters' story converge. The only difference is that the main character gets there first and manages to get the whole plot device. But yeah, you can just see here it's using the Mode 7 graphics for the SNES. Lots of animation layers, lots of colors. Jad Stronghold, Castle City Jad with 1 D. Something's not right here. Keep an eye out, watch yourself. And they give names to everyone in the dialogue text in the fan translation. Luga, Ludga, I believe Ferolia on the right is an invention of the localization. It's really just literally called the Beast Kingdom. But that's something that you would change in localization anyway, because you can't just call stuff literally in English. It needs to be a bit more fancy. Cool, so I'm stuck here. So at this point I can kind of wander around and actually start meeting people, my future party members, because they're all here. If I wasn't playing Angela, I would be able to find Angela here as well. Here is Kevin. Yeah, that's from English-speaking writers though. So, yeah, scared me. Yeah, you scared me. Don't tell them I'm here, okay? I'm one of them, but not with them. This is an item shop. This is something that doesn't need to be translated because they're just icons, signboards, which are nice. It's just a lamp, a general store. If I go to... listen. That's it. Hub. So here is a Hawkeye, or Hawk. Leave once it's dark so they pay less attention. Wait until night. Sigh. Here is... Reese? So her Japanese name is just Risu, which has and there are a lot of different names with that, like that. So you have Reese, whatever. No. I see. Thank you. Anyway. And I can find Duran somewhere here as well. I won't be able to find Charlotte though. She's actually in a completely different place. But other than that, I can meet all five or all other characters here. So Duran is a fighter. He's in the weapon shop. What kind of weapon shop doesn't sell weapons? Come on. And those beastmen make me so angry. So you can see here that Duran's personality is a bit different as well. On the left, he's much more angry, stubborn. On the left, on the right, he seems to be a bit more uncertain of himself and angry at himself. Yeah, that's just something from the Mana series as a whole. This actually started as a spin-off of the Final Fantasy series, which is why the first game is called Final Fantasy Adventure in the West. Looking for a place to rest? It's free. Yes. Press the button to continue. I was always confused by that. Press a button to continue. Luna Day. Save. And let's save. Identical times. Yeah, and there's tons of spin-offs as well. Now, before I go into combat, I just like to look at the pause menu, and you can also see a number of differences here as well. Let's just start both of them. It's a really fancy menu. It uses the high resolution mode, so it's actually a really big single screen with 9 different subdivisions. So here is the main screen. It seems to be called GP on the right, probably for some sort of consistency, but it will be renamed to Lucra in the remake, I think, and modern versions of Mana. The money here. Angela level 1. That's AI. Save files. It's a little more laggy on the left, I think. Experience 4, level 2, reached to 26 experience. It's a little weird here, because the one on the left, the fan translation, actually writes the full name of all the stats. But I guess it's just common enough that the official one decided for acronyms. Here's configuration. That button for the start button, control on off, I never understood that, and it was just translated literally. But it's actually accessing your item management screen, so yeah. As you can see on the lower right as well, menu navigation is more universal in the official translation now. It was changed to icons, while it was originally all these acronyms as well, so it's kind of nice that there are icons here. That's like an ability screen, that's an equipment screen, and lots of little differences in how the text is formatted. I think that's actually the original, so it looks glitchy, but all of those squares actually match up to the layout of the on-screen boxes you see here. So that one has like 3 vertical rectangles, and the screen here is actually 3 menus. So it's a nice difference, which was kind of lost in the official one. Now I need to go to bed and wake up at night, actually. This is a little weird as well. It says AM PM in the official one. That's a bit of a weird one, because that doesn't actually match up to morning and night. That's one weird thing. And that again. And I won't save this time. So one thing I will take note of, if I did this correctly, is that I am actually cheating. I have entered a number of game genie codes already, and the main thing I'm doing is that I have infinite items. So I have chocolate, walnuts, and Angel's Grails or Cup of Wishes. So you can already see some formatting differences here. And this is mainly just to deal with, try to make the whole battle combat thing easier. I had a lot of different ideas on how I should be cheating. I thought of infinite health or infinite money, but I didn't really want to try to like force a fixed number for my health. Having infinite items is probably fine. So you can see here, Pakun chocolate. Pakun is like bitey chocolate or something, a bit more onomatopoeic. And it's a literal translation instead of actually trying to make it match up with the Secret of Mana, which is a little weird. Magic Walnut, Fairy Walnut, that'll restore MP. Angel's Grail, Cup of Wishes. So these 3 items are infinite. And hopefully this will be enough for me to kind of get through the game and not die to any bosses, because this is actually a difficult game. Yeah, unfortunately though, this character is a mage, which means that they are not actually very good at combat. Yeah, so let's just keep going. Just one experience. It's rabbits. This game has great music as well. It's one of the last games on the SNES, so it really has one of the best music soundtracks, I think. Where's that rabbite? Oh well. Oh wait, no, I'm facing them, aren't I? So it's like behind the tree. Yeah, so dealing with combat was actually rather difficult, especially since I dropped different items as well. That's kind of why I came up with this dual controller idea. Yeah, like just programmed really well and all that. I'm not really sure how to say it. Myconid, Mushburn. So, yeah, these enemies' names are like literally taken from the katakana in the fan translation. On the right, though, I think it actually tries to localize it. Yeah, in the sound settings on the title screen, there actually was a stereo and a mono option. So, okay, let's use an item here. I have candy. I picked up a candy on the right. Let's just use one of these. Oh, that's a wall. So, let's see here. I think I need to head south, just south. Lakeside Town, Astoria. Lakeshore Village, Astoria. What do I do here? This guide isn't great at all, it's very vague. I kind of deliberately picked that. I need to talk to 3 specific people here. I wonder if... Oh, the guide's telling me to buy a new weapon. I could do that. Where's the weapon shop? Yeah, I kind of need to talk to 3 people, which kind of talks about the situation. So I need to cross the lake to get to Wendell, but it seems to be blocked off somehow. I never really understood this either, but on the right it eventually says that there's some kind of magical barrier. I don't actually... before playing this now, like in recent days, I don't actually remember getting past this part, because I think the fan translation was a bit rough, and I had to resort to a walkthrough, to my embarrassment. And here's the weapon shop. Welcome! Oh wow, I have identical money! That's going to diverge eventually. So let's pick up a staff. Again, full width text, mix of full width and half width text. These small menus and pop-ups are really the only place where half width text is used in the fan translation. But it's just used everywhere on the right, which is cool. I should probably grab a weapon actually. Come again. Alrighty then. Yeah, I don't really know about that. I just know that they're difficult, so... those are my skills. Ooh, I was following the item there. There's like a sword icon, that's a little confusing actually. Let's see. Let's change my equipment. Wand, staff, wooden cane. So, increase my attack just a little bit. But I do have infinite healing items as well. So, let's see, who else do I need to talk to? I need to talk to this guy. Nobody believes me. No one believes me. Just small differences there. A strange light. maybe we'll see it again tonight. Oh, right. Extra text boxes. And I believe I need to talk to someone here as well who's mentioning the situation. So there's like a kid. Honta. Honta's like a really common... It's like the generic dog name, so it's like Rover in English for dog. It's just Honta. Yeah. Is this an inn or can't remember now? Will you be staying with us? Yes. Rest now? Yes. So here it is. So things are already the same now. It was really after that ship sequence where the prologues ended, but at this point, yeah, it's mainly just a matter of the main character getting here first and encountering this, and that's how they become the chosen one or something. You'll see it. This sequence is weird, like all the text advancements is just a little bit off. It's not just a matter of the text boxes having being a different number, because sometimes text auto advances on the left for some reason. What? So I kind of just have to follow that light. And then I become the chosen one or something. Oh well, different enemies. Oh, that's an issue. More candy. Oh, what's with my RNG? It's completely different. I think I need to go this way. Yep. Probably should use a healing item though. Oh, the differences are already quite large. Different enemy spawns. It looks like I'm going to be gaining more experience on the left, unfortunately. Oh, and I'm already being stun locked. That's not good. Let's just... Where's that rabbi? It's a bit dangerous. But thankfully, there is a save point here, so... Yeah, so this is definitely going to be a concern, and it's one of the reasons why I'm actually very concerned about how long I can play this game, because hopefully it'll work out, but who knows, who knows. Game saved! Exclamation mark. Is that light again? More candy. I'm getting a lot of items on the right. So this is something I've been noticing in my previous playthroughs as well, when I was just experimenting with this, but I swear I have better luck on the official one. Something's different here. Another chest. I'm just getting tons of items. More candy! But that's the thing, this was localized like over the last couple of years, and it appears to be completely identical, aside from the text. So I'm not really sure why this is happening. I mean, maybe it was rebalanced, but I don't think that would have been a priority when this was being done in recent years. So yeah, there's a really big question of where this came from, this version of Trials of Mana, because a localization was kind of being worked on 20 or so years ago. There's a bit of hints of that back then, but they ran into technical issues, probably with the size of the game, and then the Nintendo 64 came out, and this was just shelved. What? Nothing. Never mind. I'm going there too, but the Cave of Waterfalls is sealed. Just saying it's sealed, I was always confused by that. Like, why is it sealed? I don't see anything. Like, all I know is that I can't go that way. And it says there's a barrier, so... Mana Holy Land. Yeah. What I think is that, since the source code here was taken from Nintendo, it's possible that this actually started being translated in the 90s. And it was kind of completed in recent years. Let me take a rest inside you. Orbit. Inside your head. Oh no. That's a possibility, I suppose. Just making it easier for outside of Japan. It's also possible that the game just kept being worked on and updated during localization. So a lot of different versions of games actually during that time were not necessarily easier, but just more refined, because the development cycle ended at a certain point when the Japanese version was released, but then when the localization started being worked on, it meant that the Japanese team actually had more time to work on the game and balance it. So maybe... Yeah, it actually does show up in a magazine. So I think Secret of Mana 2, as it was called, actually showed up in a copy of Nintendo Power. Which is why I think this might have been worked on. And then the whole project was shelved. Nintendo kept it in their archives and took it out again when Square Enix approached them. So I think that something here was done in the 90s, but then it was cleaned up. Oh, I finally got a candy on the left, so as you can see there... Oh, now it's gone now, so... But, arrows. It says round drop, rather than just candy, so... Yeah, it's very surprising that it's actually a legitimate... it's actually a functional ROM, so... So let's just get through this as quickly as possible. Oh, I'm getting into a lot more. It's time to balance out, I think. Oh, there's like some auto-targeting thing going on. Yeah, it was kind of complicated back then. It was PlayStation, and Nintendo wanting their own thing. Oh, got a level up. There we go. So, now we can see some more translation differences. Strength, dexterity, stamina, intellect, spirit, luck. Strength, agility, vitality, intelligence, spirit, and luck. Agility and dexterity keep switching around, but if you kind of look at the icon, like with the English acronym in the left, it actually says Dex. So I don't know why the person editing this chose agility. And then this is vitality, but it says right there it's constitution. This is int, this is spirit, which is, it says pi, which is short for piety, and luck. A lot of games just say intelligence. I'm not really sure when it started, but someone had the bright idea of just saying intellect, which is a much shorter character count. I first saw this in Pillars of Eternity, and it's like, wow, that's actually works. You can actually write the full name of a stat here. But on the right, you can see that they actually removed the acronyms or abbreviations. So here, I'll probably just raise strength. I'm a mage, but I have to go through melee combat anyway. And as you can see there, half-width text on the left as well. But it only appears here. Well, yeah, these RPGs were very much inspired by Dungeons and Dragons and Dragon Quest in particular, so which is why there are these 6 stats. But it is still a little different though, since there is luck and piety rather than wisdom. So instead of charisma, it's luck, I think. Otherwise, it's actually pretty similar to D&D now that you mention it. Okay, so something weird happened down in Astoria, so let's take a look at that. And everyone's dead. Like the whole place has been razed. What happened here? This looks like the Beastmen invaded while you were gone. This looks like the work of Beastmen. How can they? Those cowards. And as you can see on screen, sometimes the character's name doesn't show up. More space saving, but on the fan translation, it just keeps coming up all the time. This is the part where I meet my first party member. I think it's the same for everyone except for Charlotte or Carly. And it's right here. There's Duran. I was on my way to Wendell. Oh, hello Zach, thank you for the raid. Lost sight of it. So, why are you going to Rendell? Really? Oh, so that's what happened. Me? I'm Duran. A fighter from Force Valsenna. Again. That's a bit weird, V and F. But the R and L sing there is a pretty standard mistake. Or a bit of ambiguity. Hello, Zach. So, Valsenna, Forsenna. Sounds pretty similar. And here's Duran's backstory and facing the Crimson Wizard, or just a wizard. I was on patrol one night and a Crimson Wizard appeared. I was no match. And on the right, it essentially says the same thing, but it's much more flavorful. I'm a swordsman. My father was a great knight. Ellipse. But my skill was useless against magic. Ellipse. Lots of ellipses, which indicates that this is like a bit more literal on the left. Ellipses are a very weird thing in English. But that curse magic chewed me up and spat me out. Wow, that's a lot of flavor. He ain't seen the last of me though. Oh, there's a lot of personality here. The path for which my father gave his life is superior to magic. That doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But on the right it says that he's just convinced that, and he wants to show that the sword is better than the staff. But I can't prove that yet. There's no way I can win right now. That's why the king let me come to Wendell to learn how to switch my class. The king gave me some time off. That sounds surprisingly modern. The king gave me a bit of time off and become stronger. There's a hint of class changing, which actually disappears on the left. I'll find that wizard and make him pay. Someday, I'm gonna find that wizard. A bit more ambitious on the right. Yeah, that's kind of why I picked Duran. I wasn't really sure if I wanted to take your suggestions or not at the beginning, but it's also because his arch nemesis is the same, which means that I will get a bit of story expansion if I get that far. Wow, this is like completely different. As I said in the beginning, his name is he actually doesn't have a name. It's not Corwin. His title is actually Wizard of the Red Lotus, but Red Lotus can also be translated as Crimson in Japanese. And this just mixes it all up on the left, and just uses all variations. Corwin, our Wizard of the Red Lotus. A Crimson Wizard. Just a Crimson Wizard on the right. That's right, you bet I do. Duh! I mean, he's part of the court and I'm the heir to the throne. Even though I look like this, I'm really the princess of Altena? Why would she say that? She's still dressed in her regalia or something. But hey, don't get the wrong idea. Me mother tried to kill me. He's the jerk who drove me out of the kingdom. Oh, I see. So, this Corwin. What's wrong with that wizard anyway? What in the world is he? Oh, yeah, this is another translation discrepancy here. I can just tell. What is he? What's wrong with him? It's just because of the interpretation of the word what. So. Our magic teacher was always getting angry at him. And the greatest magician. Wow, lots of stuff on the left. Now the wizard acts as the queen's top advisor. He doesn't even call me by my royal title. Okay. Just weird. She just sounds like a brat with the way she's phrasing things on the left. The greatest magician in all of Altena. Incredibly powerful wizard, huh? Oh, why are there so many text boxes on the left? It really is trying to fit a lot in. There we go. Synced up. Anyway, I'm on my way to Wendell too. I guess that makes us travel companions. Duran's just assuming on the right that they'll go together. On the left it's much more of an offer. Okay, I have my first party member. I picked Charlotte as my third party member, and she's a little different, and I'll actually be getting her in my party now. But if I was not, if I picked someone else, I would actually pick them much later, and I would need to actually fight the first boss with only 2 characters, actually. Okay, the barrier is gone. Cave of Waterfalls. Ooh, there's a... There we go, the text popped up on the right. Cascade Cavern. Steal that, and a chest. Oh, why am I suddenly getting so much grass on the... Oh, this is terrible RNG. Again, it's... I'm pretty sure the grass just heals status ailments. Just gets rid of status. And it says medical herb on the right, so... Candy, round drop. I just have more healing items on the right. Thankfully, I that's fine. Yeah. Oh, right. I should kind of change the AI a little. I'm not really sure how good the AI is in this game, but I should probably kind of make them help me and help make sure I survive. And there's a save point right there. Game saved. Oh, snare drum? I thought you were referencing traps or something. Yeah, there's actually traps. You can lay down traps with one of the characters, I think, but yeah, I don't think it really works particularly well. You won! Victory! Round drop. I find it really weird that the names are like that. Like, there is Secret of Mana as precedent. Ah, different enemies. Oh, very different here. This is so confusing. Okay, I think this is where I meet my next party member. There we go. Ew, help me, little girl. Apparently this is already a controversial thing, because of how Charlotte, or Kali, was retranslated. And that's because she's a young girl. And the way she speaks in the fan translation is different, so all of the R's and L's are replaced with W's. Ah, hurry! I thought I was gonna die. I'm Carly, the cute little girl that lives in Wendell. That's a bit weird to say that, describe her like that. Phew, I thought I was a goner, but you saved me. I'm Charlotte. I'm a famous beauty from Wendell. Yeah, that'll be cool. Unfortunately, I don't have a Switch though, so I only have this. I would recommend you to get the game if you do have a Switch though, and the remake as well next year. I'm only really doing this just for the sake of comparison and studying this. What are you doing? Kids like you shouldn't come to a place like this. What are you doing all alone? But, and backstory. So on the fan translation, she kind of uses more simpler vocabulary, and that's it. And, cuz? C-O-Z? Heath is a nice priest. I grew up with no parents, but there was one priest that was always nice to me. Yeah, that's a typo, isn't it? Always nice to me. Heath was kind and helpful. He took care of me. Yeah, this is apparently kind of controversial already. I think since the fan translation has been around for 19 years and has been part of the Mana fandom, this is probably not going to go away anytime soon, this debate, especially since it's only available on the Switch. And Carly has a bad feeling about that. So on the left, she's just referring to herself in the third person, and on the right, she talks like Elmer Fudd. Grandpa asked Heath to go to Astoria to walk into something, but I got a really bad feeling about it. Do you want me to read everything out? That's gonna get... Yeah, I don't really know anything about that. That's just some internet thing, woo-woo. But I guess that works if you know that as well. I didn't want anything to happen to Heath, so I followed him in secret. I don't want nothing to happen to my favourite Heath, so Mick helped me to... Hey, Mick? Who's Mick? That name came out of nowhere. When I met Heath, a bad man kidnapped him. By a horrible twist of fate, a strange man took Heath away right when I finally found him again. Sniff. So all of these opening cutscenes, these character backgrounds, are actually what you see in the Trials of Mana remake trailer. So there's an encounter with Duran and the Red Wizard, the Crimson Wizard. A little bit of that right there. Okay, it was in the trailer as well. I wanted to go home, but I couldn't get in the cave. Lucky you came along. But then I couldn't. Oh, how do you even pronounce that? But then I couldn't even get back to Wendell until you opened the barrier around the cavern. Yeah, like I said, I don't actually know anything about this Uru thing. I guess it's just some meme or pop culture thing that I didn't really pick up on. I got a real wasp on the way and fell down. If you hadn't been there... It would have been good night, Charlotte. That was gross. It kind of makes me think of those terrible Japanese translations, actually. Because of the LR thing. Easiest way to get around the LR problem in Japanese? Replace it with a W. But again, Angelus just sounds like a bitch on the left. Just so annoying. Hello, Mitchell, thank you for the host. Oh, stop crying, I'll take you with me, okay? First the fairy, now this little girl. Well, I was going to Wendell anyway, so follow me! Might as well tag along. Just sounds tired. Oh, you want to see Grandpa? Why didn't you say so? You helped your chances. I'm actually the granddaughter of the Priest of Light. Priest of Light. So no relation to zombies or Game of Thrones. It's a W thing again. It's white. Come on, Swallowpoke. Oh, 2 W's. I will take you to my grandpa. The window. Oh, great. Charlotte joined the party. So she's a healer. Although we don't actually have magic unlocked yet. I believe we will actually get that. Oh, no, my health is kind of low. I should probably play a little safe there. Or just let them do it, sure. Oh, I leveled up again. Oh dear. I guess I'll increase my vitality, I guess. That'll increase my health a little. Round drop, yay! Stamina. Yes. Oh, that's a lot of health lost. Thankfully I am in town now, so... Okay, so I'm just gonna save here and kind of pop out for like a minute or something to get some more water and stuff. I've been streaming for 1 hour and a half now. I would actually like to... This is a big game, so oh, that's a big money difference as well. So I would actually like to stream this for another 1.5, just so you guys know. So if you need like a bathroom break or something, I will pop out for like a minute or 2 as well. So let's just do that. Okay, cool. Well, thanks for dropping by anyway. I hope you really appreciated this. Yeah. I'm just gonna pop out. And I'll just be a couple of minutes. I need to consult this walkthrough here. It's quite obliged. So I'm not really sure how far I'm actually gonna get. So we are actually coming up to the first boss soon, and this is actually usually where I stop playing, because this game is like difficult. Thankfully though, I have infinite healing items, so I'll just continue. But yeah, usually I play for like all the previous attempts I've done. I actually tend to die at the first boss, so Carly, wait here. I'll wait out here. I went without telling Grandpa. He's probably mad. Charlotte left the party. Carly left. And let's just go up the stairs here. Well, I'm playing Angela, so I think she will be quite unhappy about that as well. Here is the Priest of Light, or Priest of White. May the Goddess of Mana protect you all. Please accept the Goddess of Mana's blessings. I mean, I can see that the meaning here is the same. It's just a religious greeting, but it's just weird, I guess. And there's Angela being a jerk again. You just look like another world guy to me. You're plainer than I expected. I was hoping you might have some wisdom to share. That's a little weird. A new character line starting at the bottom of the text box. That's definitely not standard. Ugh. Just shove her out of the way, why don't you? Okay. Ugh. You need experience. Impossible! You lack the experience necessary. What? But I... Oh, I think it said... On the right it didn't tell him to be older. Just needs to be more experienced, a bit more ambiguous. So I actually need to reach level 18. So it's literally more experienced. But it's kind of nice that it made it more poetic by just saying it. You need to be more experienced. But on the left, it was just literal. Get older. That's a little, yeah. First, you must gain. Oh, this is oh. You've heard of the Mana Stones, I assume. They can give you strength, but not until you have all the experience you need. Strength comes with responsibility. So that's like, it just talks about it as if it's a piece of lore, and then there's a line that comes out of nowhere. Strength comes with responsibility. On the right, it seems like it's kind of ambiguous, and it's actually explaining the game mechanic to you. That's a nice subtle thing. I want to get strong now. No mention of the jerk. Oh, I need to press advance on the right again. Oh, that's a little weird. Your Eminence! Please listen. I have come from the Sanctuary of Mana to tell you that the Mana Tree is withering. Mana is disappearing. Grows weaker. A fairy? This is a terrible portent. So I won't do it now because I know what it is now, but during my first attempt, I actually had to open my dictionary and look at what the word portent means. So these are on the SNES, so the Super Nintendo. Both these are Super Nintendo games that were originally released in 1995, and I'm just running two emulators at the same time. Benevodons, God Beasts. If any names with capital letters comes up in the fan translation, I can just tell right away that they took some weird exotic kanji and translated the kanji literally one by one. So God Beasts is one of them, and something like Sealed Forbidden Magic that was mentioned earlier. But Benevodons, it's a translation liberty, it's a localization, but it makes things seem a bit more fantastic in the fantasy sense. But God Beasts, I believe, are actually a pretty common thing, because, like, for example, there's the Divine Beasts in Zelda Breath of the Wild. That was really just God Beasts, so that's pretty close to literal, but stuff like I'm sure that all of the Zords from Power Rangers, I would not be surprised if some of them were called God Beasts. Stuff like that. It's just a pretty generic term, I think. Oh, sure, that as well. So the four heavenly kings, that's translated into a lot of different forms as well. I think Tomato actually has an article about that, Clyde Mandolin, so this is, what I'm doing here is really more of Clyde Mandolin's thing and his site at Legends of Localization. So, you're acting like this doesn't affect you. The fairy chose you. So, a bit of personality lost again. Just him reacting to the event rather than talking about what's going on. Oh. Fairy, you never said anything about this. What? There's no way. The declining power of mana. With the mana in the world so depleted. Bit of a different word choice there. I have to be inside someone. In order to survive. Okay, so why did you go possess the priest now? Go haunt the old geezer. It's not that simple, I'm afraid. Would that I were able to. Just more polite on the right. The fairy can't leave until they die. I think I can do without a sword like that. No way am I getting mixed up in this. Your mother is also after the sword. The true queen of Altena wants the sword. Now's your chance to stand up to her and show her what you can do. That's a bit more ambiguous, actually, than the right. This is your chance to prove to her that you are strong. Hey! You were reading my mind! Get out of there. Ooh, that's an extra line. Ooh, that's an extra line. The Sword of Mana is the center of power for all the mana spirits. The Sword of Mana is the embodiment of the ancient power of mana. I probably should pronounce it as mana rather than mana. American accent, British accent, whatever. The one who holds the mana sword gains awesome power. Ooh, that's not advancing that's advancing at a different rate. Ooh. Oh. Priest of Light, Priest, just as the character name. If the sword is drawn before the tree dies, you simply must reclaim the sword. The goddess will awaken. Your wishes may be granted as well. I think there wasn't any mention of wishes just there on the right. Acknowledge my abilities. So, just because of word length, acknowledge was changed to respect, so the meaning is a bit different. It's the implication is a little different, I guess. So how do we get there? I want to go right now! And she's just polite on the right. Where do I find this place? I'd open the portal myself. Portal instead of gate. Sanctuary instead of Holy Lands. It's... The fan translation is the one on the left. And it's very much a mixed bag. It's probably just personal opinion or perception on things. I actually think the one on the right is better. But I think that debate will continue for quite some time because the fan translation was the only one available for the last 19 years, and well, that's just gonna stick in collective memory for a while. So the same kind of argument still exists for Chrono Trigger, actually. So I actually quite like the retranslation on Chrono Trigger DS, because there was just better standards when it was redone, while the SNES better kind of had its own issues with character limits and length limits and memory limits. So, like here, the word gate is used in the left, but it's described as a portal on the right, which is a different word choice, but it kind of describes what that is differently. Gate can imply an actual physical doorway. For portal, it's obviously clear that it's like a magical portal. There's also consistency in translations. So earlier I was talking about how the Crimson Wizard actually has 3 different names in the fan translation, and I suspect it's because it was translated by 3 different people over 3 different periods of time. And on the right, I don't know, but it was probably done, well, it was most definitely done by professionals. There was once an ancient spell. Oh, I think I just did these things by accident. There was once an ancient spell. War followed, causing as much destruction. The world was torn apart. Bloodshed ended after a curse was put on the spell. The survivors cursed the magic. So like here you can see that there's a lot more space for the text on the right to be a bit more flowery and more detailed, and here it works quite well because he's clearly describing a legend to us. But on the left, it very much had to take liberties with shorter words and just cutting out details. Something that's very, very commonly happened in translation in the SNES era. There is no longer anyone alive who knows. Nobody knows it anymore. It's just more little and more plain. But the biggest thing as well for this game uniquely is the fact that this game would have been capable, and is clearly capable, of supporting high density text. So the font size is much smaller. Half width spaced, maybe, but the fact that there's half width text here in high resolution is a very big deal. Unfortunately, the fan translation never really tried to actually put that back in. They decrypted the text and incorporated high resolution text in certain places, but not in the text boxes here. So it was just recoded from scratch, I think, but the official one actually builds upon that, so which is kind of cool. And it's very common to add extra text boxes in the English version as well. That's why I just keep scrolling and I keep desyncing. On the right, though, I think it's the same number of text boxes, because there's just plenty of space. Answer me straight, fairy. Hey, fairy, answer me. Will the Mana Goddess grant my wish? Will my wish come true? Who will grant that wish? Just little details that's lost for the sake of brevity. Okay, that's the whole backstory recap done. That's quite a bit of cutscene. I probably should save again, actually. Temple of Light, Temple of Light. Huh? Can't go with you. Gotta find Heath. Don't leave me behind. I need to save Heath. Even if you say no, I'm following. I'm coming whether you like it or not. Let's just go. Yeah, but there's still liberties that are in place. Just in terms of how it's edited. So stylistically, a bit of personality is different. So the personalities of Angela and someone else is different quite a bit. The way that the childishness of Charlotte is interpreted is different. So there's a lot more to just taking the words and transferring the meaning across. It's actually making the dialogue seem natural. There's definitely a lot of places where it doesn't seem natural. But yeah, just seeing this is very fascinating. Let's see, I need to kind of change Charlotte's AI actually. So yeah, it's just a lot of different phrasing differences. Bonkle and Whack Bam, Battle AI, Battle Behavior Setup. And obviously the whole discrepancy of full width text and half width text in the fan translation, because it was kind of difficult to hack in. Now let's see, how should I program? I'll just have them assist me. So assist Duan, attack different enemy than partners, attack untargeted enemies. It's actually much more compact. Attack starting from nearest enemy, so it's like it's just phrased quite literally, and even though it could be done in a more succinct way. Assist Angela with square brackets. Assist Angela. So let's just have her assist as well. And there's nothing else I need to do, I think. Let's just continue. Oh, there's a chest. Oh, whatever, I'll just leave that. Wait, stop! Yeah, I don't think so. But that's obviously a case of, like, Japanese quotations. So, quotation markers in Japanese are actually brackets. So I'm thinking that was the case. I'm just guessing though, because I'm not playing the Japanese version, as you can see. There's a strange energy coming from the waterfall. There's mana power coming from the waterfall. Maybe it's Wisp. I bet Lumina is in there. Yeah. And just lots of different names of the characters as well. An interesting thing about that actually, is just on a programming level, this actually is the Japanese version as well. The ROM on the right. So it really is just built directly on top of the Japanese ROM. All the labels seem to be the same, and the cheats I mentioned that I was using, they're actually the same. I actually didn't need to do any memory checking, I'm actually using the same Game Genie codes from ages ago. So let's just increase his strength. That's Duran's level. Now I need to figure out how to level that up on the right. I've only really played up to here, so I don't know, but with these modern retranslations, usually there's nothing censored. Although there is usually, well, the most that's usually censored is actually taking, kind of getting rid of like the explicit religious words. No, so this was actually just translated in recent years. So retranslations usually don't do any censoring, because those were usually done back in the day because of localization standards. Nintendo didn't really like that. So even in Chrono Trigger DS, all of the references to alcohol actually came back. One thing that still seems to be censored, quote unquote, though, is actually references to kind of just using religious terminology. I think it's actually makes it better. So on the left, it was the mana, the place where the mana tree is always described as Mana Holy Land. In Secret of Mana, the original version, it was translated as the Pure Land. But here and in other versions, other games of Mana, it's actually referred to as the Sanctuary. And I think it makes things more poetic that way, if you ask me. Because this is a fantasy, it's not an actual, you know, it's not Christianity, it's not an actual real-world religion. So using a slightly different terminology kind of makes you feel a bit more immersed. In Japanese, though, they would just outright use it because I guess the language is just a little bit different there. I have not leveled up on the right, so that's a bit of an issue. What will you do? Elemental Spirit. Oh right, I forgot you can't fly. Oh, that's actually quite a match, like that sentence there. I think I can use the residual mana power in the waterfall. Maybe I can focus some energy. So it's just making it more consistent. References to mana all the time. Yeah. We did it! Okay. Oh, zombies, yay. Let's just increase my strength there on the right. Okay, now I'm at the same level. I seem to be coping fine. Oh, I leveled up again. Oh, that's an issue. I need to use that healing item. What should I raise here? I guess I could try and raise... Not actually sure what these stats do. I remember hearing that these stats are actually kind of bad. Like some of them don't work. Maybe I'll just raise luck? I'm not really sure. I can't raise the same stat twice. Actually, I need to pick like several other stats as well before I can raise it again. So as you can see there, I can't actually raise 3 of them. So guess I'll raise luck. luck raised! Raised luck! That's another level up. I guess I'll just raise strength again. Strength again. I need to use some healing items. I should probably raise health as well. This is so weird. Dream Seed Herb. Okay. Where do I go? I think this is just more enemies. Oh, it is a save point. I didn't know that. This would have been much easier if I actually found that. Okay. Game saved. Goblins, bats. Zombies are kind of difficult to fight. Bats are really easy though. Kinda need to... I'll deal with that later. I'll heal later. I kinda just tap it as much as I want, I think. Wow, that's why you hit them with, that's why you, like, burn them and destroy them into, like, oblivion and stuff. Everything still seems to be going alright. Ah, so many enemy defenses. Hopefully, I'm still going to be leveling up at a similar rate though. I'm still kind of worried about it diverging at some point. It should be balanced though. I mean, as a general rule of thumb, I'm kind of supposed to be leveling up. If the game is balanced properly, I would still reach the same points at the same level. Okay, here's the boss. So this is very difficult. Thankfully, I have my third party member as well. And this is where my previous attempts ended. Full metal Hydra. This is crazy. Oh, that's quite a bit of damage. This is quite a challenge. Let's hope I don't die. Oh, that's a critical hit. Oh, that's knocked me out. Okay, I need to use a healing item again. That's on... Let's change my track. Oh, in trouble again on the other side. I seem to be doing much better though. Oh wait, no, that was the wrong character. Oh, might as well just use it anyway. Angela, and... I don't think there's an item that heals the entire party, unfortunately. Oh, wow, this is going very differently. I am poisoned as well. Let's just leave it at that for a little while. Wow, the one on the left is very aggressive with the special skills. That's very surprising. The last time I did this a couple of days ago, I actually died at the same time. Almost the same time, actually. I think Angela's about to be knocked out again. Oh, that's nearly a total party wipe. Oh, this is pretty dangerous. I wonder if I should just give myself an infinite health cheat. There we go. Oh, that was dangerous. Okay, I might need to reconsider using that health cheat. I have infinite items, so infinite healing items, but no health modifications. Victory, you won. Oh, that was very close on the left. What is that? And Angela's name comes out again on the left. Wisp and Lumina. So, all of the names of the elementals have a different set of names in the English overall. But for Seiken Densetsu 3, well, in the fan translation, it's just a literal thing. So, hello, Toro. The fairy told me all about you folks. You've got a lot of work ahead of you. And it actually talks about telepathy on the right. Fairy filled me in. Telepathy is great. Wow, that's completely lost on the left. But unlike the fairy, I can't live without mana. Just like fairy, we elementals need mana to live. Very important to drop the word elemental there, because that's what these things are. Just dropping keywords and stuff. Where is the light stone? Now that's a very smart way of condensing things, just calling it light stone as a single conjoined word in English. I really like these retranslations because they do take more liberties in that respect. But on the left you can see mana stone of light, very literal translation. It's right above us, but you can't get to it from here. Don't worry, it's safe for now. It's so unstable, it seems like the Benephodon could be unsealed at any minute. Oh, that's completely lost. That line's completely lost. We gotta get the rest of these friends on board. Obtains powers from the light elemental, Lumina. If you raise your intelligence, you'll be able to use Wisps magic. Capital I, intelligence. Keep improving your intelligence and ability stats by leveling up, and you'll be able to use more stuff. Oh, I can? I have to try it. Get out of my way. I need to level up. Exclamation mark! This happens a lot in Japanese text. Well, would you look at that? I think we found a shortcut. That wasn't there before. Oh, and I leveled up. Okay. I don't know if I'm not gonna raise intelligence. I'm gonna raise vitality, because I'm dying. Or stamina on the... Learned Holy Bolt 1 plus enemies. That was phrased completely differently there. Holy Ball, Holy Bolt, MP2. 1 plus enemies. 1/all enemies. That's 1/all. That's a different way of phrasing it. Thankfully I got a full heal, so I don't need to die to these zombies straight away. I would be very disappointed if I died straight away there. More differences. More differences. Oh, I'm not paying attention to the left. If you want, this is more like... If you have to just call it like that, this is more like top-down Kingdom Hearts. Yeah, because this is a Final Fantasy spin-off as an action RPG, made in the SNES era. Kingdom Hearts is also a Final Fantasy spin-off as an action RPG, but made for the PlayStation 2 era. And I think I'm going in the wrong direction, actually. Oh dear, that's not good. So there were kind of some... I'm sure a lot of other people think this as well. I can't remember where I first heard it from, but the Mana games kind of fell by the wayside by the time the PlayStation 2 came along. And it's quite possibly because Square Enix had their action RPG in the form of Kingdom Hearts. And the Mana games kind of disappeared at that point. So I'm very much looking forward to the remake, actually, because of how it's actually a modern action RPG with anime style, with no mentions of Disney and stuff. Oh, these zombies are like very difficult to fight. Especially because of the whole poison thing. Oh, I'm like already nearly dead. Great, what do I raise here? Let's just raise my health again. Maybe I should just use an infinite health cheat for my next session. And it's still playing that victory music. Yeah, I'm about to die! And actually lose my progress on the boss because... Oh well. I already did just save though, so... Oh, and everything's like immediately respawning. Let's just raise my stamina there. where's the way out? Is this the way out? Oh, it is. I can't see that at all. So this is the part where I actually don't know where to go next. Head further into the cave. Okay. I don't know. I'll figure it out. Oh, wait, there it is. Thanks for taking down that barrier. Now nothing's stopping us from invading Wendell. You must have been the one who lowered that barrier. Maybe I should thank you for it. This is a present to show our appreciation. No! Let's go. What do I do? What should I do? That's like the least weird part, I think, since I'm the one doing this. Fighting different enemies entirely, and trying to engage in combat, 2 different combat situations on the same map. And I'm leveling up at different rates, at different times rather, so. And here, it's more cutscenes. So there's the mana tree. Just beautiful graphics. The mana tree continues to wither. Oh no, the tree. We should tell the priest a hero must take the sword and awaken our goddess. That's a little weird on the left. They shouldn't really have that kind of information. Oh. Maybe it's just phrased differently. Let's ask the Priest of Light for guidance and find the hero too. Okay, maybe I'm just complaining. I'm nitpicking too much. We must not delay, let's go! I don't know what these things are. I guess they're guardian spirit fairies things? I cannot continue. I can't go on. Really nice use of brackets there and the small text box as a stylistic thing. Because they're fairies, they're tiny. But on the other hand, it's just regular text boxes again. I can't make it with the other realm with my powers. I leave the rest of it to you. Please hurry. I'll give you my strength. That's, I think you can figure out the discrepancy there. We cannot continue either. Please go on without us. Find our hero and save the mana tree. You're our last hope. Take care. It feels like, just from those phrasings, those are like pretty common translations of common Japanese phrases. I think. And here I am in prison. Everyone's at 1 health. So that's Hawkeye actually. So this is actually my 3rd party member if I did not choose Charlotte as my 3rd. and I would have met them here, but as you saw there, that boss battle was very difficult. Hopefully things will be different in the remake. Of all the nerve! Hey, let me out of here! No need to shout. Save your breath. Keep it down, will you? The one on the left seems a bit more resigned, and the one on the right seems a bit more cautious and stuff. Finally awake? Are you alright? This is the prison in Jad Stronghold. One little mistake, and now this. Give me a minute, and I think... Wow, that's very different. Now that the guards are gone, we've got a chance. Yeah, it's just... lots of text missing. Cut out for brevity, which means that you can't really add anything for flavor or personality. And that's really why official SNES translations were kind of admirable in that regard. Because they kind of managed to do it. Here though, it's obviously made by fans. Hey, quiet! Quit your yakking! Keep quiet! Hey look! The lock's open! What? Hey, did you even notice the door's unlocked? What a useless guy. You're right, but how? Oh, come over here and take a look. Okay, so keep staring in. Okay, you do this. And there we go. Come on. You really thought a lock like that was gonna stop a professional thief? Ugh. And on the left it just cuts all of that out and just uses a catchphrase. Like taking candy from a baby. Sorry for the wait. Cool. Okay. Time we went our separate ways, you need to get to the docks. Okay, I figure this will work best if we split up. You two head for the harbor. You two head for the harbor. Ah, I have a party of 3. Did not consider that situation. While some townspeople... Oh, it swapped the sentences around. The beastmen are busy invading Wendell right now. While the beastmen were attacking Wendell, some townspeople are organizing an escape. I heard the townsfolk mention it. Go on, hurry, I'll meet you there. You don't look so good. Offer a prayer to that mana statue and you'll be healed completely. Missing tutorial messages again. Save! Make the towns times match up. So this is kind of the point where I have never actually played the game before. I usually stop here. I never really made it much farther. Look, let me go, curses, you got me. I think that's good for first session. I think I'm going to play a little bit more, just so I can just get over this hump. Oh dear, that's combat. Oh, whoops, I went back down the stairs. I'm not controlling the left side well at all. Yep, she's... Yep, just wait right there. Okay, whoopsie. Was not paying attention there. Let's kind of get out of here first. At this point, I'm pretty much in unexplored territory, I think. Bounds, Wolf, and Howler. So let's just kind of get past this. and find a place to save, I think. Oh, cleric. What should I level up? More candy, yay. I'll just level up. I don't know what to level up. I'll just level up health again. Heal light learned. There we go. So now she can heal. I don't know if she'll do that automatically though. I've heard that the AI is kind of bad. I think I'll just go for the next save point actually. Look for that and then save. And call an end to that session. I think that'll be good. And yeah. There we go. Raise health there. Learned healing light. Item there. Ooh, safe. Okay. So that roulette said okay. More literal stuff. Oh dear. Where do I go from here, actually? Oh right, I need to get to the docks. Get aboard, quick! We're setting sail! Wait! Hawkeye isn't here yet! Sorry, we have to cast off now. All aboard! Hey, hold on! Wait for me! Just my luck. Hey, take care! Yeah. So no party of 4 here. And from here, I'm going to get to... Oh, that's a lot of stuff happening. We've wasted too much time. We have to get to Maya and find the rest of the elementals. We need to find the rest of the spirits as soon as we can. Maya with an I. Free City Maya. Free City of Maya. Oh, it was actually spelled correctly. Oh, on the fan translation. Welcome to the Free City of Maya. Welcome to the Free City of Maya, capital letters. From the port you can catch a ship to Jad. Ships regularly travel from here. Okay. I'm not really that far ahead of where I've stopped several times before in the past. I could continue playing for a little bit more. It looks like there's another boss battle soon. But I think it's best if I just end it today here, actually. I think 2.5 hours is plenty of time. How much money do I have? 1200. a bit more on the left side. Oh, I'm on different days! What on... I'm on different days! Of the week. Now how am I supposed to synchronize that? Either way, I'm going to rest. 45. Days might actually affect combat and spawns. I kind of... Jin's Day, Gnome Day. I have my save synchronized as well. That's, Jin's Day, Gnome Day. Right, I'm 1 day behind on the left. That means I can rest again. Gnome Day. Okay, now I'm on the same day. Save, yes. Oh. How did that happen? So now I'm on the same day. That means I think RNG will be similar. I'm all on the same level. My money is actually fairly similar. I should probably try to upgrade my weapons, kind of explore the town properly, and talk to people, and that NPC is like gone. So at this point I'm probably just gonna refresh my items, make sure I have good inventory. Since, you know, this is an RPG, I kind of need to buy equipment. And then I'll save again and call it an end to this session. I think this is a good point. I think I'm kind of at the point, like I said before, I think I'm kind of at the point where I've stopped playing. In previous times I've tried playing this game. So... Iron sword, wooden flail, staff. I already have a staff. Let's get the iron sword. Attack power. Oh wait, no. My attack power is not... That doesn't increase my attack power. Let's... I don't know, let's just sell some items. So just clear up my inventory there. I have a lot more items on the right. Mushroom eye, what's that? Let's sell that. Lots of candy as well. Medical herbs. Let's just... I'm not gonna use any of that, am I? Okay, that works. All of my... Now my money is synchronized. So complicated. With an armor shop, can I get armor? Well, let's just talk to this kid. This is the Alchemist Bon Voyage's... This is the Alchemist Bon Voyage's house. This is the house of Von Voyage, the alchemic inventor. BNV in Japanese. At least it makes the pun a little less obvious. Bon voyage. Built something really weird. Okay. Let's check that out. These are some gnomes. Dwarves? Gnomes. I'm Bon Voyage. Yeah, yes, hello, I am Bon Voyage. This is like, just like 2 alternate universes. Who are you guys? Oh, well, you came at the right time. And you are? Never mind, hardly matters. Blah blah blah. Crazy inventor. And let's just talk to the missus. Bonsoir. Bonsoir. Oh, it uses a hyphen to cut off the text of the next line. That's... okay. More of a mad scientist. More of an inventor. What's this? Oh, it's a cannon! Yeah, so this is one of the fast travel methods in Mana games. Kind of came about in Secret of Mana, actually. Because the first Seiken Densetsu was Final Fantasy Adventure, and it still had a lot of Final Fantasy cameos. So, for example, chocobos and mogs operating fast travel rather than something like that. But the remakes kind of... one of the remakes, actually, Sword of Mana, kind of addressed that and kind of redid the lore. It's with the armor shop. There it is. Circlet. Silk Road. Hide visor. Hands off partner. Let's get that. Maybe I should equip for all of these maximum items as well. I should probably cheat for that. That's nothing. Cat ear hood. Kitten hood. Cat ear. Oh. That's better defense. Let's grab that. Sheep pajamas. Lamb suit. What's a lamb suit? That's same defense actually. Come again! Okay, let's re-equip my stuff. Let's just change my equipment. The exact same rendering differences, issues as well. Oh, a few rendering issues actually on the... Iron sword. Hide visor, leather visor. Wooden flail. See, these item names are using like full-length text. It's really just the names and dialogue handling in the fan translation which is just lazy. Or, well, they just didn't bother trying to make it work. So... I think that's right. I should probably consider just getting my strongest weapons, though. So, yeah. So, old stuff, armor... so confusing. What else do I need to do? I wonder if there's AI for magic, actually. That would be rather important. I don't think there's actually AI for magic. This is just melee. It looks like I just have to enter it manually. So I go into the ring menu and just use that. So this is unfortunately just melee combat AI. That will probably make everything more difficult. Let's just talk around a little, and then I'll save. Again, you're looking for the Mana Stones, eh? You should talk to King Richard of Forcina. I reckon His Majesty the Hero King of Valsenna. And the Knights of Gold. He and the Golden Knight. So it's just one guy, not the Knights of Gold. He and the Golden Knight used to slay menacing dragons around the world. I always admired them. They've made a reputation for themselves around the world. Extra text box. Let's talk to that lady who's up there and who's down here. About halfway between here and Bizel, there's a cave which leads to Forcina. Golden Road splits off before it gets to Bizer. The other branch takes you to Valsenna. Map directions, map directions. Map directions. It's just confusing, I suppose. One might be phrased better, one might not. It's just different. Who else can I talk to around here? I think I've already spoken to that sailor. No? I went to Bizel a while ago, but they turned away from the gate. They turned me away at the gate and said no foreigners allowed. I tried to sail west, but they turned me away. Said they didn't want any outsiders in the city. It's red-haired. Oh, where's that red-haired person? All the way over here! Head west of here and take Golden Road to get to the merchant town of Bizer. Leads to the city of Bizel. Lots of traders used to come to our town, but the road is infested with monsters, now hardly anyone comes. The Golden Road has always been a major thoroughfare for merchants. Took over by monsters, infested by monsters. That's so... Saying it's infested makes them seem more wild, I suppose. I don't think there's anything else to look at in this city. It's just a city. I've already gotten equipment. I should probably actually cheat for the best weapons in the game, actually. I should probably do that. And let's just save one more time. Well, I'm already cheating for infinite healing items. Oh, that's throwing me off a little. The number 6 is a different font. On the left, they look pretty similar, but yeah. Anyway, press the button to continue. Mana Day, Mana Holy Day. So it's just striking out the word mana. So you could consider that censorship if you really wanted to. But on the other hand, it's just trying to make it seem more fantastic. So that's about 2 hours 40.